Jai Jagadish Hare, Savakara Kamalavare Rakamatuta Shriya Gavi Kari Ranga Kashipu Tanuvena Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Chalayasi Ramane Palimadutavana Paranaka Nirajanita Janata Keshavadvita Vamadarupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Vamadadev Jagadish Hare Kshatriya Rujiramaye Jarapagata Papa Sapayasi Yashi Samadhamana Keshavadita Brigupati Rupa Jagadish Hare Jagadish Hare Dashamukhamali Ramani Keshavadvita Rama Shira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Mahasiva Pushi Vishare Vasanandalavam Alahate Diti Militaya Keshavadvita Alagara Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Vindasya Yavade Ahasutisatam Sarayari Daya Dashita Kesha Visa Buddha Sharira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Vachani Vahani Tane Kalayasi Balam Duma Ketamiva Kimapi Karam Keshavadvita Kaushi Sharira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jagadish Hare Shri Jaya Deva Kabderi Namurita Mutaram Shri Sukadam Subhatam Keshavadita Kashmira Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Vedandhuda Vedan Vedan Udarate Jaganti Vahate Buddhoram Buddhibrate Saityam Dharayate Balim Chalayate Shatrashayam Kurvate Kalasyam Jayate Halam Kalayate Karunyagatam Mechanu Chayate Rasakritikite Krishnaya Tubhyam Namah. One more time. Mechanu Chayate Rasakritikite Krishnaya Tubhyam Go Premanande Nitai Gora Haribo Haribo Nitai Gora Haribo Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Lakshamam. Krishna, 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 Patimam. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Lakshamam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Parimam. Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Parimam. 3, 2, 1. Krishna! And now we'll do a Mangala Charan. Vande Guru Isha Bhaktan. First tell the page for everybody. Which one? 92. 92. 92. Everybody ready? Yes. This is a appropriate meditation on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who came here and danced in ecstasy and chanted mantras before Kurma Dev. And in just a minute after we finish this Mangala Charan, I'm going to tell you about Kurma Dev. I'm going to quote a verse, or at least 2 verses, from the Shastra that will change your outlook on life forever. And from this day forward, You'll never be the same. When you leave here, you'll feel supported always, at every moment. You'll feel joyful, and you'll feel as if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has entered your heart. So shall we chant the Mangalacharana first? This is, when you come to the temple, you walk up many steps. Either that or you drive in a broken bus. Either way, you have to do some tapasya. So this way, when we do this Mangalacharana now, we'll clear the way so we can hear these verses about Kurma Dev. 92. Are you ready?
Yes.
Vande Guru Nisha Bhaktan Ishan Ishavatarakan Tat Prakasham Satat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Samjakam Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gododai Pushpavanto Kshetra Shando Tamo Nudao Yada Dvetam Brahmopanishadi Tadapyasya Tanubha Yatmantaryami Purusha Iti Sosham Shavibhavaha Shadaishvaryai Puno Yaiha Bhagavan Saswayamayam Chaitanya Krishna's Jagati Paratatvam Paramita Anarpita Charim Shira Karunayavatirna Kalau Samarpaitum Natojvarasam Svabhakti Shriyam Hare Purata Sundara Dhyuti Kadamba Sandipita Sada Hridaya Kandale Spuratu Vasachinandana Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Hladini Shakti Rasmad Ekatmanav Api Bhuvi Pura Deha Dedham Gatau Tau Chaitanyakyam Prakaramarana Tadvayam Shaikyamatam Radha Bhava Duti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vanaya Eva Swadyo Yena Bhuta Madhurima Kidrisho Vamaniya Saukyam Chasyad Mat Anubhavata Kidrisham Veti Lovat Tad Bhavadya Samajani Sachikarva Sindhu Harindu Sankarshana Karana Toam Garbhoda Shayi Chapayo Vishayi Sheshasya Yasyam Sakavasa Nitya Nandakya Rama Sharanam Mamastu Maya Tite Vyapi Vaikuntha Loke Purnaishvarye Shri Chaturvyuha Madhye Rupam Yasyodbhati Sankarsanakyam Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Prapadye Mahavish Maya Bharta Janda Sangashayangat Shete Shakshat Karanam Bodhi Madhye Yam Sachipumanadi Devas Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Prapadye Yasyam Samsha Srila Karboda Shayi Yannabhyabjam Loka Samgatanalam Loka Shastu Sutika Damadatus Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Prapadye Yasyam Sham Shamsha Paratma Kilanam Oshta Vishnur Bhati Jugdad Vishayi Shoni Bharta Yatkala Sopyanantas Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Prapadye Mahavishnu Jagat Karta Mayaya Srijatyada Tasyavataramevayam Advaita Charya Ishvara Advaitam Harinadvaitat Acharyam Bhakti Shangshanad Avataram Eva Shvantam Advaita Charya Ashraye Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Chitam Surato Pangor Mama Manda Matergati Matsarvasva Padambo Jau Radha Madana Mohanao Divya Vrindaranya Kalpa Durmadha Srimad Ratna Gada Singhasanastav Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Deva Krishna Libhi Seva Manusmarami Srimad Rasa Rasadambi Amshi Vata Tatastita Karshan Venu Swaner Gopir Gopinatha Shriyestunaha Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Etin Thakur Goreyaki Karya Chanaya Masad Etin Nera Charan Bandot Tine Morana Triyarambe Mangala Charana Guru Krishna Paratoya Tinera Smarana Tinera Smarane Hori Digna Vinashana Shila Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Did you all see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's footprints? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to this holy place to see Kurma Dev, a deity that was uncovered by Srila Ramanujacharya. The deity had been here for who knows how long. But Ramanujacharya had heard that there was some kind of worship going on here, and he came here and found that the deity was being worshipped as Lord Shiva. Hare Krishna. But there were few things that were amiss. One was the deity's facing west, and it's never done in Lord Shiva worship. And through Shastra and revelation, Ramanujacharya informed the local people here that this is actually Kurma Dev. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here, see, in 1500s. You saw in the footprint. And in this area also, at least in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in this chapter that talks about him coming to Simachalam, and after that, few verses that describe how he went to see Lord Nrsingadev there. He had come to Kurma Kshetra and seen the deity here. And it's mentioned there by Kaviraj Goswami that the mode in which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conducted himself at Kurma Kshetra was the same as he did everywhere. And in a village near here, he met a very well-to-do person named Kurma. He was a Brahmana. And he was a grahasta. He was also the leader of his community. And when he saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as you might expect, Mahaprabhu was so attractive. And Kurma said to Lord Chaitanya that, I'll just go with you. Please let me travel with you. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't stay long in one place, sometimes just one day. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied to Kurma, never speak like this again. This is the instruction that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Kurma that Kaviraj Goswami says was consistent everywhere he went. And he gave several instructions to Kurma. One is, he said, you should stay here and chant Hare Krishna. This was the primary reason that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled everywhere, is to teach everyone the process of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra together. He said, stay in your home and stay in your village and organize people so they can chant Hare Krishna. And the second instruction he gave him was, you should teach this to other people. And he said, if you do these two things, there's no reason to leave home. And Prabhupada, in his purport to this instruction, it was the Chaitanya tech support was that if somebody's engaged in chanting Hare Krishna, hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam and teaching others, that person will be protected from Maya. And one is enveloped by the spiritual energy, so much so that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't recommend that Kurma leave home. Coincidentally, at that time, just after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had left the home of Kurma, the Brahmin, and had given him that instruction, there was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya named Vasudeva. Vasudeva was a leper, and he was also a pure devotee. He was completely self-realized. He understood that he was not his physical body. Evidence given by Kaviraj Goswami is that he had living worms on his body. And he didn't mind, although everyone else pushed him away, didn't want him near. When he would see one of the worms fall from his flesh, feeling sorry for the worm, he would pick it back up again and put it on his body so the worm could continue to exist. This Vasudeva was in a perpetual state of Krishna consciousness, and the word came to him that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was nearby in Kurma Kshetra area. So he moved as fast as he could move his diseased body towards this place to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But when he arrived here, he found out from Kurma, the Brahmin, that Mahaprabhu had recently departed. He decamped. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is omniscient, and he could understand the plight of this Vasudeva and the anxiety that he felt when he heard, did Vasudeva, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just left. He fainted and fell to the ground in agony of separation. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, meanwhile, wandering and going to his next destination, whatever that might be, understood that his devotee had come here. So he turned around and came back. He embraced Vasudeva, and when he embraced him, the leprosy was cured and his body became very beautiful. And then Vasudeva expressed another concern. He said, now that my body has become very beautiful, won't I become conceited and lose my bhajan? my sincere desire, my feeling being very humble. Previously, people pushed me away, and I was an outcast in society, and therefore I was naturally kept in a humble state. But now you've made my body very beautiful. What can I do now? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then gave similar instructions. He said, you should chant Hare Krishna incessantly. Don't stop chanting. And he also said, you should try to teach Krishna consciousness to others. He said, if you do these two things, then Maya will never touch you, and you'll always remain fixed in Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada writes about this in his purports, of how this applies to everyone in the modern age, this instruction. It was meant for all of us. That wherever situation we're in now, stane stita shruti gatam tanam manmanobhir, we needn't abruptly give it up. Rather, we should embrace the chanting of Hare Krishna. Now, someone may say incessant sounds a little extreme for my lifestyle. But don't worry, because our acharyas point out that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says we should chant without stoppage or incessantly, it means that we shouldn't miss our rounds in one day. Means for those who are living a life in the world where you have other obligations, which are quite expected of somebody living in the world, that you should do your prescribed number of rounds every day. And if you do this regularly and you stay consistent, this is also considered nityam, or constant. Means you haven't missed a day, you haven't broken the chanting. And the other instruction is very important as well. We should also teach others about the chanting of Hare Krishna, which means what we're doing here. We have the nice combination I'm seeing right behind me now, people with lollipops and books. Isn't it a nice combination when we're chanting Hare Krishna, but then we have the wherewithal to give it to other people and see them walk away with books and appreciate? Well, that's just what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Kurma Brahma. And he also told Vasudeva. If you do these two things, you combine the two, incessantly chant Hare Krishna, hear about Krishna, chant his names, and also distribute it to other people. Wherever you go, whomever you meet, he told to Kurma, he said, teach them about Krishna. So that was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's simple formula. In fact, simple is best. It's a principle called Occam's razor. Do you know Occam's razor? Means the simplest solution, or the simplest answer is usually the correct one. And so when Tapana Mishra, who was a great scholar, had read many books, he became confused about the goal of life. So if you hear from many sources and you dabble in many philosophies, then you might become confused. Nowadays, people watch 100 minimum YouTube videos about exercise. And one person says, don't stretch. The other person says, do stretch. One person says, don't eat carbohydrates. The other one says, you're going to faint if you don't eat them. Everyone becomes confused. They don't know what to do. So in a similar way, Tapana Mishra was confused about the goal of life, and he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what instruction did Mahaprabhu give? Same one, chant Hare Krishna. So we can take the process of Krishna consciousness, easy access. And I want to mention a few points that we can take away. Here's 4 principles that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught that are easy to present to other people. If you want to give the simple presentation, practical presentation to anyone, anywhere, at any time, a person doesn't have any context of Krishna consciousness, you can give them these 4 points that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave in his teachings, and you'll give a successful presentation. Are you ready? Number one, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught about Bhoga Tyaga. He said that in the material world, people are always trying to enjoy, and after they enjoy, there's a natural reaction that they want to give up enjoyment. Because, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yehi samsparsha bhoga dukkhayo naya evate adyantavanta kunteya nateshu ramate buddha. An intelligent person doesn't engage in sense gratification because it's the source of misery. Even Prahlad Maharaj says the moment you start thinking about enjoying in the material world, that's the moment you start suffering. You don't even have to move your hand. You can just think about it and you'll suffer. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described this pendulum effect here in the material world, that people are trying to enjoy, and after they've enjoyed for some time, they want to renounce because they think that'll make me happy. And they're perpetually caught in the pendulum swing between bhoga and tyaga, he said. This is a point people can relate to everywhere. If you talk about bhoga tyaga as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, then people can have some context that there is a different way to engage besides trying to enjoy or trying to give up enjoyment, which we'll talk about in a second. The second point that you can use from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings that people can relate to is the phrase he gave, which is chapala sukha. Sukha means happiness, but chapala means restless, flickering, it's here and then it's gone. All happiness here in the material world is chapala. You have it for a moment, and then it disappears and evaporates. And Prabhupada gave the example of a mirage in the desert. It looks like water, but when you approach it, you find out that it's empty. There's nothing there, nothing substantial. So this is a well-known concept in the material world. The hedonic treadmill means everyone's trying to find some enjoyment. But as soon as you get it, then it becomes commonplace, and you think, what else is there? The happiness you thought would be there recedes, or you find there was no happiness at all. The third principle Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught that is easy to present to other people is Sangha. He told Sanatana Goswami that Sangha, or association, is the key to advancing in Krishna consciousness. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, Karanam guna sangosya sarasad yoni janmasu. Purusha prakriti stohi punkte prakriti jan gunam. Karanam guna sangosya sarasad yoni janmasu. Means that whatever good or bad you have in your life has all come about because of your Sangha. Karanam guna sangosya means the cause for all your happiness, distress, ups and downs. Everything has come about by Sangha. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if you want to be happy, then take Vaishnava Sangha. Just be in the Sangha of devotees. Thank you very much to all the devotees who accompanied us here and gave us such a warm welcome. Vanchakalpadabhishya, Kripasindevacha, Patitanam Pavanabhyo. Iskan Kurma Kshetra ki jai. Hare Krishna. And the fourth principle is seva, or service. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami when he asked, who am I? I don't know who I am. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you're an eternal servant of Krishna. And this is a very appealing concept because people are caught between bhoga and tyaga. They understand chapala sukha, but they don't know how to find real happiness. Where's the real water? If there's a mirage, there must be real water somewhere else. It's in Sangha. And I was thinking this morning, when we came into the temple, we got here before you did, and we, at the ISKCON temple, and some of the devotees were there, so I picked up a drum and we started a kirtan. And immediately everyone was dancing and enjoying, and we didn't speak the same language. But because we were having a loving exchange of chanting together and appreciating Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Kurma and the holy place here, we were naturally happy. And then it was time for prasadam. And I saw Nirkula rolling up her sleeves, washing her hands, and she had her game face on. You ever seen when she gets her game face on? And that I thought, oh yeah, we're going to serve prasadam. And as soon as I started washing my hands, getting ready to serve prasadam, I felt happy. I was starving. I was very, very hungry. But as soon as I thought, I get an opportunity to serve the devotees, I suddenly wasn't hungry anymore. I was happy and I was feeling naturally satisfied. And so these are very simple principles. But if you teach them to other people and show how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught something very simple with access, immediate access, you don't have to wait, it's not highly philosophical. People can understand Bhoga Tyaga. They can understand Chapala Sukha. They can understand the principle of Sangha. By association, that's how you advance. In fact, even in the material calculation, people say you can understand what your income is or what it's going to be by counting up the combined income of all the people you associate with. And then service. That one's hiding in plain sight. Because most people think, I'm not satisfied because I'm not getting enough service. Why aren't people attending to me a little more? But if you flip the switch, what are you going to do? Say flip the switch. It's my new saying. Flip the switch and you say, how may I be of service? As soon as you say that, as soon as you think it, then everything changes. A light comes on and you feel naturally satisfied. You feel aligned and happy. And that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught. Is it true? Look at that. You have a cheat sheet and one right here. Okay, now there's two things. Those are 4 philosophical points you can teach to anybody anywhere and it never gets old because they're so directly understood by people that you'll talk to. Whenever you go to teach about Lord Chaitanya, you just tell them these few things. There's 2 things you can share with people wherever you go to. These aren't philosophical points, but things you can share that will start them on their path back home, back to Godhead. Would you like to hear what they are? Yes. The first one is prasadam. If you get into the industrious mood of making sure that you always have prasadam wherever you go and giving it out, it will change the way you conduct your life. For instance, what about going to the bank? Does anybody go to the bank? Only everyone banks online now. Post office, that's a bust. Do any of you go out anywhere? Where do you go? Right now. Okay. Work with me, people. Where else might you go out to? School. Where? Home Depot. Home Depot. Don't say those words around me. Okay, Costco. Say you go to Costco and you're checking out the line and you hand somebody some prasadam. What do you think might happen? It's unusual. People generally are just buying their thing and they're leaving, but if you give them some prasadam, and what if you go back next week and it's the same person and you give them prasadam again? What might happen? Double happy. And what about the third time? They'll say, who are you? Who are you? And then you'll say, oh, here's my card, and here's a little book that tells my philosophy about sharing. And then the other thing that we can share besides prasadam, which we already know we're giving out 5,000 lollipops on this trip, minimum, offered to Krishna. It's the holy names. Everywhere you go, Lord Chaitanya said, teach people the holy names, teach them how to chant. And we find that people who don't know what the Hare Krishna mantra is, but they're a little open-minded and they'll chant along, they feel transcendentalized as soon as they chant. Recently we had a Janmashtami program at Salesforce. and we rent, actually they gave us the hall, and they helped fund it too, because they like diversity inside their walls. And part of the program was about a 20-minute kirtan. Who was there? You were there, that's right, you were. And how would you describe the experience of people who were there for the first time or who were walking by and saw the kirtan? Can you remember the the reactions?
They were very happy.
He said they're very happy. Any other details? A lot of double takes because we're in a room with a big glass wall and people are walking by on their way to a meeting and they go, wait, what? And then many people came back and they came in the room. They hadn't been there for the other part of the program, but they were there for the chanting. And it's one of the most oppressive environments that you can live in, the corporate environment. You have to work in a cubicle. Don't mean to freak anybody out here. And then there's a sense of alliance with the mission of the company, which is really stupid. But anyway, no, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. And so that, no, it's a good idea. But as soon as the holy name starts, it's almost like the walls start melting away. And people realize, oh, I'm a spirit soul. And knowledge naturally comes. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. Knowledge and detachment come immediately as a concomitant benefit of chanting Hare Krishna. So let's just review really quickly 4 philosophical points you can make when you teach about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. And 2 more to hit 1600 on your SAT. 2 things you can always give out. Yeah. And with books, the books are what we call literary kirtan. So, Namanyanantasya Yashon Kitanya. The literatures, they're written kirtan. So imagine you do a kirtan, which we should do at every place we go. And then when you give somebody a book, they walk away with a kirtan in their hand. And it goes into their house, it goes into the company, it goes everywhere. So it's the same thing, only it's called Brihat Madanga. It's the greater kirtan, it can go further. So give out books, give out prasadam, give out the holy name, and then teach these basic principles, and people will be very satisfied with you. Now, talking about satisfaction, because we want a little satisfaction, you already know all these points that I just presented, but you want to hear something a little deeper and more esoteric. And it's got to be about Kurma, because we're here at Kurma Kshetra. How am I going to pull a rabbit out of a hat and do all that in the next 10 minutes? How much time do I have, did you know? He's busy organizing the next... Tell you what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you a verse that is going to make you happy forever. It's going to help you overcome, if you ever have in your life a sense of bhoga tyaga or chapalasuka. Anyone? Only 3 or 4 people. Everyone else is in total bliss all the time. This verse and purport, very short purport, is going to change everything, and especially because it's related to the deity of whom we just got the blessings, Kurmadev. Would you like to hear it? Yes. So for those of you who have a device and you'd like to follow along, we're going to sing the verse together in a beautiful tune, one that we just did for the ending of the... Here it is. It's at 12 canto, 13 chapter, and it's verse number 2. And it's the same tune from the Dasavatar Stotram, last verse. Anybody not have it in front of them? 12, 13, 2? Sharing means caring. If you have it, share it with somebody next to you. For this, I need one drink of water. You can't work without water. Talk amongst yourselves. Kurma is amphibious. You ready?
Yes.
Rishte Brahmyada Manda Mandara Giri Pravakya Yidralo Kamata Krite Bhagavata Swashanila Pantuva Samskara Kalanu Vartana Vasha Velani Denam Vasam Yata Yata Matandritam Nate Nadyati Vishram Yati. One more time. Yata Yata Matandritam Jalanide Nadyati Vishram Yati. Translation. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as Lord Kurma, a tortoise, his back was scratched by the sharp-edged stones lying on massive, whirling Mandara mountain. And this scratching made the Lord sleepy. May you all be protected by the winds caused by the Lord's breathing in this sleeping condition. Ever since that time, even up to the present day, the ocean tides have imitated the Lord's inhalation and exhalation by piously coming in and going out. Kurmadev ki jai. Now it just so happens that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta gives a commentary on this verse, and it's summarized in this purport. I'll read it to you, if you'll listen very intently, and see if it relates to any of the points we just talked about. Ready?
Yes.
At times we alleviate an itching sensation by blowing upon it. Similarly, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains the breathing of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can alleviate the itching sensation within the minds of mental speculators, as well as the itching of the material senses of conditioned souls engaged in sense gratification. Thus, by meditating on the windy breath of Lord Kurma, the tortoise incarnation, all categories of conditioned souls can be relieved of their deficiencies of material existence and come to the liberated spiritual platform. One must simply allow the pastimes of Lord Kurma to blow within one's heart like a favorable breeze. Then one will surely find spiritual peace. Lord Kurma ki jai. Okay, make any reflections that you have now. Sharing means caring. First of all, did you like this verse? Okay. You can thank me later. And what did you hear today or experience that you want to reflect on? Ram.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I thought it was interesting the parallel between Vasudev the leper, who was suffering from a skin condition regarding the worms, and the verse that you just presented regarding Kurma can alleviate the itching sensation of the material senses, of the material world, by the winds that are blown that alleviate that. And Mahaprabhu came to Kurma Kshetra to meet Vasudeva the leper, like you mentioned. So that was like almost a literal example of what you just said in the purport.
Thank you very much. Well done.
This is not a very deep point, but I was just, like you mentioned, Ramanujacharya came here and there was some worship happening, and he basically discovered that it was Kurma Dev and probably built a whole temple around it. It's very inspiring, and this it just reminds me of Srila Prabhupada coming to the West and like seeing like maybe something happening, some energy there with like the hippie movement or whatever, some dormant energy, and then coming and then building something out of it. It just reminded me of that, seeing this temple here. So
It's a very deep point.
that's
It's a very deep point, and it goes to the fact that Tirtha Kurvanta Tirtani Svantaksnena Gadavita. This is something that Yudhishthira said to Vidura. Vidura, the inimitable Vidura, saintly person. Yudhishthira said to him, Bhavad Vida Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibo Tirtha Kurvanti Hey Kurvanti Tirtani Svantaksnena Gadavrita. And it means that the pure devotee is a holy place personified. And wherever the pure devotee goes, he or she purifies even the tirthas. And related to your point, the reason there are so many Radha Krishna deities, Gaurnitai deities, Jagannath Baladev, Subhadra, all over the world now, is because that's what was in the heart of Srila Prabhupada. And to please his pure devotee, Krishna manifested in all these places. Prabhupada personally asked Krishna, would you please stay here? And sorry for the insufficient service. When he was in Australia, nobody was initiated yet, but he installed Radha Krishna deities. And he prayed to the Lord, you please train them up, I have to go somewhere else. And so when we see the altar, we're seeing Nikunchayuno Ratikele Siddhe Yayali Bir Tira Pikshaniya. What is that kunja? Where does it come from? It manifests from the heart of the pure devotee, who then manifests it before our eyes, so we can see that. Nice point, because this is one of the things that acharyas do. They produce literature, and they also make centers where people can come from all over the world and see the Lord. And from those two, they can be lifted out of the material world. What else? Yes, Rancherji.
On our coach here, we were reading the section in Chaitanya Charitamrita that describes this temple, and Haraipuran Prabhu read a purport about how originally Ramanujacharya thought this was a deity of Shiva because of the Shiva Linga. So we, even before coming, we had some sort of idea of how it looked like. And then when we got and saw the actual deity, we were like, yeah, we understand how this could have been mistaken for that. But I think my understanding is reading about the temple and reading about the Lord helped us appreciate seeing it, and then actually seeing it helped us appreciate the fact that we heard about it more. So I think the past, like the activities of hearing and chanting and temple worship, so like strict bhajan marg and pancharattika marg, they kind of go hand in hand together to merge together.
Sadhu. Shastra Sarprada.
Hare Krishna. Just a quick comment. I thought it was so awesome. Guru Maharaj, when you were mentioning this thing of how, talking about how it's out of Srila Prabhupada's heart that all of these temples have manifested. I was thinking that through Guru Parampara, the same mood is constantly passed down, and it's incredible that today we were sitting in Kurma Kshetra, but we were reciting verses about how Mahaprabhu is Krishna who's come to relish the mood of Radharani, and that in a verse that Rupa Goswami recited to Mahaprabhu, and that would have never happened if it wasn't for Srila Prabhupada coming and bringing that even to a place that doesn't seem so much in line with that sort of mood and feeling.
Yeah, it's an excellent point. And we hear about how Madhavendra Puri, in his mood of separation from Krishna, was the announcement that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would be soon among us, teaching that mood, bringing it down. That fragrance comes through the Guru Parampara. It's only possible by the mercy of the great acharyas, of whom we take shelter. And that's the means for success. Kurvanti Govatsa Padam Bhavadin is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that when you follow the acharyas, it's called the Acharya Sampradaya. When you follow the mood of the acharyas and how it's passed down through the cyclic succession, then you can easily step over the material world, which is normally impassable because it's oceanic, but it shrinks because of the power of the acharyas. So that's our superpower, is following the acharyas. Then we become empowered. One more. Yes.
I have a question, Mark.
Yes.
That's okay. Earlier we were listening to how Mahaprabhu made prayers before he came to temples. And my question is sometimes when I'm in different temples, as today, I have a hard time connecting with the form of the Lord. So I kind of just have a blank face or nothing crosses my mind compared to being at home with deities that I've been with for many years. So is there a way that we can cultivate certain mood in order to understand and appreciate what we're saying?
Yes. And my experience here at Kshetra is remembering Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy, thinking about how ecstatic he was. I thought, hey, I might as well be also. Because whatever Mahaprabhu does, we do. I mean, Mahaprabhu tells his mother, follow Ekadashi, and then all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas go, we follow Ekadashi. Why? Because Mahaprabhu said it. And so, wherever Mahaprabhu's happy, that's where we're happy. We just follow him because nobody's better than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so if you remember Mahaprabhu and just think of him, his ecstasy, and try to appreciate it through him, how he's experiencing. I mean, look how ecstatic he is coming to see Kurma. And you think, there's something in there. I have to find it. And the beginning part is to just take what it is in a simple way. We don't have to overanalyze coming to the Dhams because they're naturally sublime and you can feel it for yourself. And if you don't feel it now, wait till you leave this place and get on a plane to, I'm sorry to bring it up, but New Delhi, or then you end up in New York or whatever. Of course, we never leave the Dham when we follow the instructions that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave, because when we get to New York, we start thinking, this is the place of eternal Harinam, or San Francisco, and we think this is the second place Prabhupada opened. So we're always protected, but you'll notice the contrast, and it'll become a natural sense that I was there, I saw the Lord, and it grows. You'll incubate it, and it'll grow. I came here 45 years ago. I figured that out. And coming back, it was a transcendental deja vu, coming back to this place after so many years. And it's more of a remembrance as a feeling than it is as, oh, I remember every single detail of the place. Just knowing, as I was blabbering in the car about going from one place to the next, you feel like you never leave the spiritual world. And that's a nice feeling. And you'll notice it mostly when you go back to wherever you go to and see that the energy is very different. And you'll feel fortunate that you stepped in this place. And remember, finally, last point, Atashri Krishna Nama Adi Nava Vidraim Indriye Sevan Mukhi Jivado Swayameva Spuratyada. This is a path of revelation. And it's not that we can figure it out or we can't break into the spiritual world. Nor can you walk into the spiritual world with boots on. You have to be a recipient. And the best recipient, says the Padma Purana, is one who serves. He says, how do you start that service? Jihva, with your tongue. And what's the thing to do with your tongue? Take prasadam. And Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Dear Kurma Dev, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you so desire, please let us feel the ecstasy, dear Lord Chaitanya, that you felt when you came to Kurma Kshetra. Please let us have the instructions that you gave to the Kurma Brahman, and also to Vasudeva the leper, etched in our heart always. And please, may the windy breath of Lord Kurmadev blow within our minds and blow away all misery, mental speculation, and give us the joy of serving you eternally in pure devotional service. And also, please empower our Sankirtan movement all over the world so we can make everybody else in the world happy in Syria, Bulgaria, Lebanon, Palestine, Egypt. Can we get out of the Middle East now? Europe, Guyana. Where? Brazil. Anybody for Detroit? Detroit, New York. Antarctica. May all the penguins be happy. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. From the most ecstatic place in the universe, Kurma Kshetra Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. Everybody who agrees with this basket of prayers, in whole or in part, please say Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpataruscha kripasindhabe vachapatitanam bhavanibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha anantakoti vaishnavini ki jai Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai Shri Kurmadev ki jai. And now we have a word from our sponsor. He says, we're going to exit. You just to go straight. Bolo bolo. Knock it out of the park here.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare